Hi everyone, this is Francisco, and in this video, I just wanted to quickly share like a some type of experience that I had that I think a lot of people go through without them realizing it. And basically, this morning I woke up from a dream, and in the dream, there's two people in a car, and they were up to no good. And I knew there were trouble, so I ran to my friend's house in the garage. And when I went in the garage, as soon as I told him and I looked back, I turned around and looked back, the other guy was right there. And my friend instantly grabbed his shotgun or a rifle that was right there next to him in the corner, luckily, and he shot towards him. He ran and missed him, and then he put another hole in the doorway because his wife stepped out of the house and he got scared and almost shot her. And then I began thinking of something completely different in my dream, and then I woke up. Now, there is another dream that I remember, and in this dream I was somewhere like near the ocean, I believe, or somewhere where it's prone to flooding. And when I was there, all of a sudden there was a big flood, and I was actually above the water, swimming in the water and going from one object to another. And then I woke up, and I believe that when someone wakes up, um, it represents like dying in this other world or other reality, which we call like a dream. Okay, and so that day, when I drowned, I think I drowned because I just woke up. And then this other dream that I told you guys right now, with the guy shooting at the other guy, it seemed like this guy was out there trying to kill me because I needed to wake up here. So I know that there's a lot of, it's interesting because in the medical industry, there's a lot of people who are under a coma, and some of them stay under a coma for a very long time. And I believe that one key thing to remember is that in order to wake up in this reality, you must die in your dream. So I don't know if that helps the medical industry at all. But so far, that's what I've been experiencing. There's also been like a lot of traumatic experiences that I have had through my dreams that caused me to wake up. So I woke up terrified, my heart was beating. Um so so yeah, I just think that you know if any of you out there have family members that are under a coma or whatever, um, or or whatever it may be. To me, it kind of seems like even this life, this world or this reality that we're living in may somehow be connected to, like to heaven or some type of medical research, um, that connects people's brains to a machine, and they're studying our brains. It's kind of like God, um, scanning our brains for information to evaluate what we would do in certain types of situations, and to monitor and record if we are violent in any way, shape, or form, which is super um, important for the medical industry and for uh, detention facilities, especially like prisons and jails, because there's a lot of inmates. There's a lot of inmates that that the medical industry or the people just don't know if they're violent, or they don't understand them 100% completely. So so if somehow with AI technology and the people that study people's brains could figure out how to do this and put these people under these tests, it could determine whether they they are violent or not. And if they are not violent and they pass certain tests, evaluation tests or whatever, um, you know, under this computer device while they sleep or whatever, it could determine whether people get released or not from jail. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things to learn, and we're all learning. And I just thought that it was interesting how how um how like I don't know, because I study uh the Bible, and I know that something created us. We are created beings. It says it in the Holy Bible that God created us. So it's possible that God is studying the way we interact with things as well, with like for instance vehicles, airplanes, submarines, ships, and and he's he's actually learning from us. He's learning how we behave and how we react and how we, interact with these things. So it's possible that we are all under, you know, that type of what's it called? Like, I don't know. We're just like getting studied, in other words, from God, um, to better understand us, so He could better understand us, and the way that we think, and therefore maximizing our potential and learning our weaknesses, and and things like like our shortcomings or like our limitations. I don't know, that type of thing. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to share this with all of you because I know how important it is for the medical industry, and so far that's like the only way that I wake up. I wake up when I get killed in my dreams, or sometimes I wake up um, when I'm doing something wrong in my dream, like if I'm about to go rob a bank or whatever. Sometimes um, the other people will distract me, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about something else, and then I wake up or something like that. Um, so yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. Um, these dreams that we have, that all of us have. But yeah, it's kind of like that game. Um, I think it's called Eve Online, where it's like your subconscious or something like that. I mean, I could take the time to look it up very quickly on my laptop here. It's called Eve Online. Eve Online. Yeah, I think this is it here. It says Eve Online is a free MMORPG sci-fi strategy game where you can embark on your own unique space adventure. Eve's open world MMORPG sandbox renewed among online something something something. Okay, Wikipedia says Eve Online is a space-based persistent world massively multiplayer online role-playing game developed and published by CCP Games. Players of EVE Online can participate in a number of in-game professions and activities, including mining, piracy, manufacturing, trading, exploration, and combat. But I remember something about, the subconscious or something like that. Subconscious. Something about the word subconscious. It says EVE Online subconscious can refer to a few different concepts. The psychological impact on players' subconscious. Some players report having vivid dreams about EVE Online, suggesting the game can infiltrate their subconscious minds. One theory suggests that the game can expose players' subconscious desires and fears, as the intense nature of gameplay and interactions can push individuals to their limits. Playing the game might reveal subconscious needs and motivations, like the need for a sense of power and meaning, or the subconscious drive behind pursuing in-game goals. Number 2, the impact of the real world on players and game subconscious behavior. Studies have shown that real world socio-economic socioeconomic factors can influence in-game player behavior, suggesting that a player's real-world environment can subconsciously impact their decisions and actions within the game. For example, research indicates that players from countries with higher levels of real-world aggression may be less aggressive towards other players in game, perhaps using the virtual world as a subconscious safety valve. Number 3, the concept of trance or flow state in gameplay. Some sources describe a state similar to a trance trance, not trace, trance or flow state that players can experience while playing EVE Online, where they become completely absorbed in the task at hand and lose track of time. This intense focus and engagement might be interrupted as the subconscious taking over, allowing the player to act on indistinct and refined skills without needing conscious deliberation. Number 4, the society of conscious thoughts. Within the lure of EVE Online, there is a faction known as the Society of Conscious Thoughts, SOCT or SOCT. The SOCT or SOCT is known for its pursuit of spiritual enlightenment and psycholarly achievements. I don't know that word. Anyway, with a unique selection process for its schools that it described as having little rhyme or reason to outsiders. This name and lure might evoke the idea of assessing or undertaking the subconscious mind within the game's narrative. In summary, the concept of EVE Online subconscious encompasses both the psychological effects the game has on players' minds and the way players' real world subconscious can influence their in-game behavior. The game's immersive nature and complex social dynamics can create situations that trigger subconscious reactions and insights. So, yeah, it was something about this, the word subconscious or like something like that, like kind of like being there in the spirit, you know, that type of thing, kind of like dreaming or whatever, or like the movie Avatar, where they connect themselves to the tree, and the tree, I think, reveals some form of vision or like a playback of an individual's um, past experiences and things like that. So I think that has the symbolism of technology, that tree in the in the movie The Avatar, because it's lit up, and when something is lit up, it requires energy. So yeah, I'm thinking that it could be like one massive computer that could somehow scan people's brains and reveal that to others. Um, Especially for like investigators and stuff like that. So I think in the near future, um, people who investigate crimes and stuff like that will be able to um, scan people's brains while they sleep, even if they get incarcerated and then they go in there when they're sleeping, like when they're out, you know, when they're out for like for a couple of hours, and they reach that deep sleep mode, which technology could technically read. And you know, these inmates' beds, you know, their bunk beds, well, they could technically have some form of technology like this where it could send the medical section of the prison or the jail with these readings, and it could reveal which inmates are awake as opposed to which ones are asleep and stuff of that nature. So so they would just be able to wake up, and they wouldn't be able to they wouldn't be able to remember anything. They, as far as they will be concerned, they just went to bed and they woke up right there. Okay. Um. So yeah, I just wanted to share my own thoughts um about this stuff, and pass it along. I don't know if it helps any of you out there, but I hope that it does. Um, and some people get traumatic, blunt force, brain concussions, and like injuries. Um, so they go under this deep sleep because can't their minds can't stand the pressure, and it's hard for them to even open up their eyes um, because there's a lot of connections in the mind, in the brain, and even moving the eyes could hurt some of these patients. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's like having one massive headache, but it lasting years and years and days. But each and every single passing day, the mind of these subjects, of these patients, are healing, especially with the proper medical treatment and care. And did I say medication and stuff like that? So there's a number of things. There's a factor of things. There's a lot involved, and what's it called? You know, these people just need a lot of sleep. Um, so I think if technology um, is able to determine if the patient is not injured or hurt within the brain, um, then there may be some form of ways to wake them from their coma, yeah, their coma or whatever. And I'm assuming by maybe introducing some form of sound effects that could cause them to have um, like a nightmare where they could wake up. So they will. So they could. So basically, they'll start thinking about war. Like for instance, sounds of warfare and guns and bombs, or even playing a war movie may work, and having it loud enough for them to hear it, that may cause them to wake up and bring them back to this world. Because remember, it's only when they die in their dream that they wake up here. So if you guys play um, sound effects of warfare and they begin thinking about this stuff, eventually they're going to get involved, and the enemy's going to find them and take them out. And that's when they wake up. And it doesn't even have to be like an enemy hunting them down and then them dying. It could just be a freaking bomb. You know, it could be something unforeseen, and then they just wake up. They'll wake up, and you people have, you know, the the computers there that reveal whether the patient is um, whether the patient is I think awake or not. And you guys have the technology to determine if a patient if a patient's heart rate goes up. So all this information, especially if you guys have cameras within the patient's rooms that are under a coma, um, with AI technology, you guys will be able to see if there is any movement. AI technology will be able to pick up on movement on any of the patients. And if you guys see movement, then that will actually be a good thing. Um, hopefully it won't be something that will disturb them. Um, but yeah, like there was a guy, I believe that that told me that he was under a coma for 2 years. He was under a coma for 2 years, and he said that his family would go and visit him, and eventually, down the line, he was able to come back. So, I understand that this stuff is very serious, so that's why I took the time today to share my thoughts and ideas with whomever it may concern, and whomever is interested in this type of topic, because there's a lot of people out there in the world, and some people, they don't give a rat's ass about patients that are under a coma. They're not even thinking about them. They just wake up and they resume their day like they always do, without any consideration or thought for people who are in the medical industry, like, as patients, not as nurses and doctors. Unless they get sick, then they want to go to the hospital. Then they want to bitch and complain because they're in the waiting room for 5 hours because they have a little headache, or because they injured themselves some way. Like, just have some respect, people, and appreciate what other people are doing for you. Anyways, God bless everyone. Um, and that's all I have for right now. Thank you for watching. If you did happen to sit and listen to this video all the way through,